ever, dude. Okay, high school's whack. Welcome back, psychos. My name's Reverie Ratchet, and today's video is going to be about a high school stalker I had. Now, I've been wanting to make this video for a long time, but I just felt uncomfortable in doing so just because of, you know, people and, like, talking about them and stuff. But we're going to be doing it today, so let's jump into it. So for socialization, I'm normally the one that brings people together. I'm the one that takes all of these people and just brings them together and makes them become friends. And then, especially if I see you being a loner, I'm going to pull you into my group and I'm going to be like, hey, here's this person, y'all have similar interests, like each other. So this is how I started building up my bus gang. So back in high school, I was at the back of the bus, and I put a whole bunch of, you know, the loners together that would just sit by themselves separately on the bus, and I brought them all into my group by just slowly talking to them day after day after day, including Cake. We're gonna call this dude Cake because we're not gonna say his real name. But after a while, like, everything was pretty chill going on, and just everybody was hanging out, getting to know each other, having a great time. But then after a while, I noticed that he started to only want to sit by me, or he would sit completely alone. Nobody was allowed to sit with him unless it was me. So shortly, as everybody's getting to know each other and becoming friends, this guy asks me for my number, and I'm like, oh yeah, sure, you know, no problem, it's all part of being friendly. And so I give him my number, and of course everybody on the bus is like, oh, y'all switching numbers, oh, and I was like, nah, dude, we're all just hanging out, we're all friends. I have, like, no interest in this guy. And so we switched numbers, so now we're texting and not just socializing on the bus. This goes on for a couple of weeks, but then, you know, as time progresses, he starts getting very flirtatious, but only over text. He doesn't flirt with me in person. I guess he was shy and didn't want everybody else to know, even though they kind of already guessed it when the whole number situation happened. But he started getting very flirtatious over text, and I was just like, haha, cool, but like, nah, dude. So here's where things start getting a little bit weird. Not only is he flirting with me over text, but on the bus, he starts hitting on my best friend, like, in a very pervy type of way. Like, I remember she was sitting there talking to another friend, and he was behind her, and he looks at me and was like, hey, I just want to, like, you know, squeeze and grab her butt, and then he would just make all of these, like, pervy comments about her. And even though it was about her, it still made me uncomfortable, because if he's thinking about her like that, how does that make him think about me? And it's just, like, very, very much so an off vibe. Another big red flag that I noticed was the fact that he would only text at night. And I literally told him, I tried to let him down as easy as I could, and I was like, hey, I know you're trying to flirt with me, I know you like me. I was like, but I'm just too busy, and I just have too much on my plate right now for a relationship. So, like, chillax. But did that stop him from being flirty and keep trying and being pervy to both me and my friend? Of course it didn't. Then he started getting very touchy and would always try and find some way of physical contact with either me or her, but this is my story, so specifically with me, he would, like, brush up on my arm or just lay on my shoulder or just some weird something that I was just like, okay, I understand this could be seen as friendly, but, like, I was very uncomfortable in that moment, especially with the pervy comments that I always heard this guy make. So all of this weird, pervy, touchy weirdness went on for about a month, and I just finally got over it. So I told him, I was like, hey, I'm lesbian, please leave me alone. And no, I wasn't the best person in high school, because that's a really bad move. It's a really mean move. But I did it, it happened, but did that stop him? No. Next thing I know is he's texting me pictures of him in skirts and him doing all of these, like, feminine things, and he starts acting different. Like, his whole personality has switched from this dude to this very feminine being. I guess he was trying to appeal to, like, my lesbianism. I don't really know what that was about, but it was just very off how, like, the day after I make that comment, he just immediately switches and is like, alright, no more, you know, burly masculine stuff, we're gonna go wear skirts and jewelry and hair, nails, whatever. And I'm just like, what are you doing, dude? And listen, I thought maybe, you know, we're in high school, we're all changing and developing and finding who we are, so I tried to be supportive, and I was like, hey, that's really awesome. If you want to wear skirts, then wear them to school. Nobody's gonna care. Like, you do you. Like, be who you are, be who you want to be. So I really did try to be supportive of it. It just felt off with, like, the timing of everything. So after a couple weeks of this, he asks me, he's like, well, how do you know you don't like guys if you've never tried? I had to explain to him I did actually have a boyfriend at one point, wasn't really my style. So no, I'm still going with the story that I'm full-on lesbian. Mind you, the entire bus crew is in on it, because I said, hey guys, I'm telling him I'm lesbian, please support me, please make sure that if he asks you, you tell him I'm a lesbian. Just so that way my facts and storylines check out. But now he's following me through the school, and he's watching and seeing who I socialize with, which is mostly dudes because of my natural dudism. So at first I tried to see it as him just really needing a friend and reaching out and trying to just socialize and find more friend groups, because again, I bring people into friend groups and, you know, help everybody get to know everybody. That's like what I do. So that's what I saw it as, but after a while I really just got tired of it because he never actually came up and talked to me and the people I was talking to. He just kind of stood to like 10 feet away and just kind of watched us interact, which is very weird. And more specifically, every time I would look over, he's just straight eye contact with only me. He never looks at any of the other people I'm standing with, which is normally a pretty lengthy crowd. It's always just straight eye contact with me, which is just very unnerving, knowing that, you know, hairs on the back of your neck standing up because somebody's sitting there staring at you and you're just like, please stop. One day I just get tired of it and I'm like, alright, we gotta put an end to this because this has just gone on for way too long and I'm trying to live a drama-free life, but for some reason this drama keeps finding me. So I tell everybody on the bus before he shows up, I'm like, hey guys, I have a girlfriend. And they were all like, excuse me, you're not even lesbian. And I was like, alright, but I'm trying to get him to just get the idea to just leave me alone and go find somebody else to have like this huge crush on because I'm over it. So I tell him I have a girlfriend, just go with it. If he asks, that's the story we're at now. So not only are they lying to him about me being a lesbian, they are lying to him about me having a girlfriend. Thank you, bus crew, for having my back, bro. Appreciate ya. So now I have a girlfriend. Did that stop him? Of course not, okay? This dude does not stop. So, one day, everybody was talking, laughing, having a great time. This is about a week after I got a girlfriend. And so, he makes a really funny joke, so I laugh at it. He texts me. He doesn't question me in person. He texts me and is like, or he calls, one of the two. I don't even remember. This was like 6 years ago. But he calls or texts and he's like, so what was with that cute smile you gave me on the bus? Like, thought you had a girlfriend and yet you're flirting with me? And I was like, dude, no, it was just a funny joke. Like, I smiled and laughed at a joke. That's not flirting. And if it is, dang, I must be a hoe because I laugh all of the freaking time. But I told him, I was like, no, it's just a funny joke. Like, that's not what it is. And he was like, yeah, okay. Like, he totally did not believe me. And I was like, dude, what am I supposed to do with you if you won't believe anything that I'm freaking saying? Along in this conversation, he ends up asking me about my girlfriend because he never sees me with her. And he's like, well, what's the deal with you two? Because again, he's following me throughout the school, seeing that I hang out with only dudes and never had like, you know, relationship type interactions with anybody, much less specifically a girl. So he asks, are you guys long distance? And I was like, well, no. And I'm like, what am I supposed to do now? Dude, this guy has even followed me to my house, okay? He knew where I lived because, again, we rode the bus together. So this guy, I would even see him, like, just passing by my house on a bicycle just to keep tabs on me and keep check on me and see who was coming to my house. Like, what the hell, dude? Please just... Okay. Anyway, so now I'm in a dilemma because he's asking about my girlfriend and if we're long distance, because if we're long distance, then he still has a chance because I don't actually see this person in real life, and it's just like, oh my god. Okay, so what I do, I message my homegirl, Jamie, up. Now, Jamie is actually gay. Bless this woman. I message her and I'm like, hey, can't get this guy off me. I told him I was lesbian. I told him I had a girlfriend about a month ago, and now he's asking why he's never, you know, I've never seen with this person. So Jamie becomes my little boo thing. Woo! I love this chick. So now every time that I notice that he's watching me in the hallways, which was pretty much always, I would love up on my girl Jamie. We'd hold hands while walking to class. We'd just, you know, be a regular everyday couple without actually being a couple. However, I also started acting very gay with my best friends, Sarah and Lex, from high school. So this ended up leading to him thinking that I was okay with cheating. So if I could cheat on my girlfriend with these girls, why couldn't I cheat on my girlfriend with his feminine self? And I was... How did I manage to put myself in another dilemma after just getting out of a dilemma? Help. So, to further progress the story, he's now wearing skirts and other feminine things to school. And I would support it if I knew it wasn't an act, just to try and get with me. Mind you, he's just kind of dropped his crush on, you know, my other friends from the bus. It's literally just him coming after me now. So I'm like, okay, what do I do? Well, I text Jamie, my wonderful girlfriend at the time. Hey, Jamie, how about we get engaged? you would think that that would end it, especially with how serious high school relationships are if they're planning marriages. Anyway, being my stupid high school self, I thought that this was gonna end up working. And we planned it all out. We planned to have it at Halls of Horror, which is a haunted house, so that should have been a number one note, that when I showed him these texts about us planning a Halls wedding, because that's where we both worked at the haunted house, it should have been like, okay, you're gonna get married at a haunted house. Press X for doubt. We also talk about who's gonna like appropriate the whole wedding thing, and mind you, gay marriage wasn't even legal at this point in time because Barack Obama hadn't made it legal at that point, but we were still going for it. I don't know why, but we planned it out, and I'll try and get the text in here. Alrighty, so I screenshotted all of these text plans, which, why are you planning a wedding over text? Whatever, dude. Okay, high school's whack. Anyway, I screenshot it, sent it to him. He didn't show up for school for a week. Like, he just disappeared for a week after I sent him these messages. But then he shows back up, and he's like, he's looking at my hand, and he's like, so if you're engaged, why don't you have a ring? Well, heck, dude, how do I explain this, right? Thankfully, he asked me that on a Friday, so Saturday, I went to the store and I bought myself a ring. Let me go grab it. Because I have it still. Woo! Okay, I'm back. So, I went to the store that next day and I got myself this. It's a little bit big now because, you know, weight loss, but like, yeah. So I bought myself this beautiful ring, $7. I am engaged for $7. We're gonna get married at a haunted house. We're gonna have an animatronic be our little preacher dude that does the union thing, whatever. I don't know what the wedding stuff is, but here's the ring. So when he saw this ring, he got so livid because, again, he saw it on the bus. He literally stormed from the back of the bus where our group hung out to the front of the bus. Didn't say a word to anybody. Again, he ended up missing school for like 3 weeks this time, which I didn't even think was a possibility going to public school. But he missed school for 3 weeks, and then even when he started coming back to school, he biked to and from school. And mind you, it's like a 30-minute bike ride. All because of the fact that his little crush thing got engaged and had the ring to prove it. I really did feel bad that this is how the whole situation played out. Like, I don't like being this way, but I just really needed the whole situation to just end. Like, I was just so over it, and I was trying to focus on school, and he just would not leave me alone. And I just needed the space to breathe, and I needed him to stop showing up at my house. And I did feel really bad, though. That's the whole point of this rant, is I did feel really bad, but it happened, and it was in the past. Well, shortly after all of this went down, he finally got a girlfriend! Yay! But then he found ways to try and make it abundantly clear to me through other people talking about it, or through him and her, you know, making out aggressively right in front of me and like all this stuff. He tried to just make it abundantly clear to me how happy he was with her, and I was just like, good on you, bud. I'm gonna just do my thing and move on. So I congratulated him, I supported him, and I was like, good for you, bud. And then everything after like a month or so started to kind of chill back out, and everybody was, you know, again, chilling on the bus, which is why I didn't make this video for the longest time, because we were still like talking and chill. Like, we became actual friends, and we were just kind of like, alright, the perviness ended, the weird stalkerism ended, everything just kind of mellowed back out, and we went back to how we were at the beginning of the bus days. So that is my story of my high school stalker, and I've got many more whack stories from high school, because if you think this was crazy, trust me, guys, trust me, I've got tons of stories that I can tell. So scream out if you want more of this story time telling. Scream out if you want more story time stuff. So Reverie Ratchet is what I normally call these videos. So don't forget to check into the psycho board. Wow, I really suck at English. Alright. Reset. Was there something else I was supposed to say? So yeah, scream out and tell me if you want more Reverie Ratchets. That's what I call my like story time videos. And don't forget to check into the cycle ward. Make sure to take your medicine, and as always, scream out because it's very therapeutic. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. March videos. Hey, let's go. Much love, psychos. I'm the one that brings everybody together and forms like friend groups, which is why I have so many different friend groups. That sounds like I'm bragging, and I'm not. So I was like, alright, cool. I forgot everything else I was supposed to say. Hold up. Why do I keep forgetting? Like 2 seconds after I look at it. Relationship that didn't stop me trying. I like that. They kept pushing and trying. Okay. Dudism. Dudism. I gotta say it like that. Okay. Dudism. Oh, but whatever. And that may be why, yeah, anyway.